Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Gina Louise. Today we're going to make this French country farmhouse message board for your tier tray, bookshelf, coffee table, or even on your fireplace mantle. This is my tier tray and I made all of the things you see here, and I'm going to show you how to make everything in your tier tray so you don't spend hundreds of dollars buying little cutesy farmhouse pieces to put in your tier tray. Do you like my fall decorations that I made for my tier tray? I've been making dollhouse miniatures for the longest time, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I can make these minis for my tier tray and do a nice whole episode, well, series actually, on YouTube of how to make these cute little minis for your tier tray. Do you see something that you love? Let me know in the comments below, and I will put up a video for you on how to make this. Today I'm going to show you how to make this French country farmhouse message board. If you watch until the end, you will see a preview of all the episodes coming. For today's project, we're going to use one of these little squares that I got in a package from, I believe it was Hobby Lobby, a piece of vintage lace that I got from a friend, and I'm going to use my brown paint, my nutmeg brown, and Mod Podge in matte, some twine. We're going to use some dowels, some of these little mini clothespins that I got from the Dollar Tree, and a nail file, and something to cut the dowels with. I need to invest in a miter cutter. If anyone knows a good brand for a miter cutter for doing craft projects, can you please leave it in the comments below, because I really need to buy one and there are so many out there, I don't know which one. Anyway, so we're going to take a little brown paint and we're going to add a little water to it, mix that around, and we have created a stain. So I just want to apply this stain to the piece of balsa wood because I want it to be just a little darker than it is, because when I put the lace over it, it's too close in color. So I figured if I make it just a little bit darker, it'll look nice coming through the lace. Now I'm just going to cut two pieces of the dowel the same size as the longer side of my rectangle. This is what we're going to use to frame the piece of wood. So I'm using my hedge clippers, which they work great to cut the dowel. They cut branches, so this is perfect. If you don't want to spend the money on dowels, you can actually use branches, now that I just mentioned branches. That will make this look cute too. So now I'm just going to line it up. I'm going to cut another one, and then I'm going to file the ends so they're nice and smooth with my nail file. I'm going to use a teeny dab of hot glue just to hold this temporarily in place. I'm going to put the two on the longer ends. This way I could measure the inside between the two of them, because I'm going to place the other two dowels in between these dowels to frame this out. And if I would have just measured it without the other dowels, it would have been too long and I would not have been able to place it inside the two of them. So that's why I just put that little dab of hot glue, just temporarily, and then I'm just going to pull them off, no big deal. And then I'm just going to cut two for the smaller side. We're going to sand those as well, make those nice and smooth so they fit nice and snug in between the two longer ones. Now we're going to stain the dowels as well, but I want them a little darker, so I'm adding a little more of my nutmeg brown so that this little stain is darker, and you could see the framing pieces a little better than the background. Now while we let those dry, we're going to Mod Podge a piece of lace over the wood. This is the rectangle piece of wood. I'm just looking for a pretty part of the lace where I want the design to show up, and I'm going to cut that, and I'm just going to Mod Podge this on. We're going to put a nice coat on the bottom, and then after we apply the lace on top, we're going to put a nice coat on the top as well. Now we're just going to let that dry. Now that it's been drying for several hours, we're just going to trim the edge. It's so much easier to let this dry before you start trimming the edge. And then after we trim around the edge, we're going to cut 2 pieces of twine that we're going to hot glue from one side to the other. And that's going to give us our little like clothesline effect where we're going to add our clothespins so that we can hang cards and mementos and pretty things. So if this was life size and you had this in your house, you would be hanging your birthday cards, your holiday cards, maybe some dried flowers, photographs. So that's what we're going to do now. We're just going to put a little dab of hot glue and we're going to glue it on the other end. We're not going to pull this tight. We're going to let it loop a little bit. I was looking for a piece in the twine that had that natural little loop in it so that when I hot glued it, it would automatically have that little, like that little hanging loop that I wanted. Now we're just going to snip off anything that's hanging off over the edge here. Like the twine that's hanging over, any little bit of lace that might be hanging over. Look how pretty that came out. So now all we have to do is add the little clothespins so that you could clip on little photographs or mementos or dried flowers, or you'll see how I added a little string of beads. Now I'm adding a little piece of twine to the back of it just in case I want to hang it up. Now I'm adding a tumbling block to the back of it so that I can stand it up in my tiered tray. Now to embellish it, make it look all pretty. And here are the final results. Remember to watch to the end of the video because I have some clips of the next videos coming up. Here is a sneak peek of all the little tier tray minis that I'm going to upload videos on. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, can you please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you ring that little bell on the side, that's a notification bell, so every time I upload a video, you will be notified. And then you could be one of the first to watch the videos. So all these little minis that you're seeing now, I've created videos on how to make them. And I am uploading them all in the next 2 weeks. Thank you for watching. Again, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Consider subscribing to my channel because it helps my channel grow. And I would love for this channel to keep growing because I absolutely love creating DIY tutorials and teach people how to create crafts. Thanks for watching.